Welcome to English Grammar, Chapter 32, Comprehension. So the first topic is John Gutenberg and the Voices. One night, John Gutenberg worked until late at his press. He was printing a large folio edition of the Bible in Latin. For weeks he had given all his thoughts to this great work, and now he was completing the last sheets. He was worn out with fatigue, that is, he is completely tired by now, but proud of what he had accomplished. He leaned his head upon the framework of his press and gave himself up to thought. Suddenly from among the types, two voices were heard, that is, his inner voice. They were speaking in low but earnest tones and seemed to be talking about Gutenberg and his invention. "Happy, happy man," said the first voice, which was gentle and sweet and full of encouragement. "Let him go on with the work he has begun." So the first voice is full of encouragement. "Books will now be plentiful and cheap. The poorest man can buy them. Every child will learn to read. The words of the wise and the good will be printed on thousands of sheets and carried all over the world. They will read in every household. The age of ignorance will be at an end. Men will learn to think and know and act for themselves. They will no longer be the slaves of kings. And the name of John Gutenberg, inventor of printing, will be remembered to the end of time." Then the other voice spoke. It was a stern, strong voice, although not unpleasant, and it spoke in tones of warning. "Let John Gutenberg beware of what he is doing. His invention will prove to be a curse rather than a blessing. It is true that books will be plentiful and cheap, but they will not all be good books. The words of the vulgar and the vile will also be printed." That is the two sides of the coin. One inner voice is telling all positive and another voice is telling all negative aspect of printing. They will be carried into millions of households to poison the minds of children and to make men and women doubt the truth and despise virtue. Let John Gutenberg beware lest he be remembered as one who brought evil into the world rather than good. And so the two voices went on, one claiming that the printing press would bless all mankind, the other saying that it would surely prove to be a curse. John Gutenberg felt much distressed. He did not know what to do. He thought of the great harm that might be done through the printing of bad books, how they would corrupt the minds of the innocent, how they would stir up the passions of the wicked. Suddenly he seized a heavy hammer and began to break his press in pieces. He was so disappointed after hearing to the negative inner voice that he took one hammer and he started breaking his press. "It shall not be said of me that I helped to make the world worse," he cried. But as he was madly destroying that which had cost him so much pains to build, he heard a third voice. It seemed to come from the press itself, and it spoke in tones of sweet persuasion. "Think still again," it said, "and do not act rashly. The best of God's gifts may be abused, and yet they are all good. The art of printing will enlighten the world. Its power for blessing mankind will be 1,000 times greater than its power for doing harm. Hold your hand, Gutenberg, and remember that you are helping to make men better and not worse." The upraised hammer dropped from his hands. The sound of it striking the floor aroused him. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. He wondered if he had been dreaming. And it's written by James Baldwin. So first exercise is an MCQ which you can do it in the textbook itself. John Gutenberg was a printer. He was printing an edition of the Bible in Latin. Which voice said the age of ignorance will be at an end? The first. What was the message of the second voice? Printing will poison young minds. What was the result of Gutenberg's choice to continue printing? Humans became enlightened. Now answer these questions. What is Gutenberg remembered as today? Gutenberg is remembered today as the inventor of movable type printer. What are the three possibilities that printing presented as told to Gutenberg by the voices? The first possibility is that with the introduction of cheap printing, the age of ignorance would be at an end. Even the common people would be able to access the books and knowledge would never be limited to the elite class. The second possibility is that the evils and vulgarities that could be presented in the book would poison children's minds and people's thoughts and the way they perceive virtues and truth. The third possibility is that even though there is a chance that the books poisoning young and adult minds, the power of enlightenment printing brings to the world would be 1,000 times greater than its power for doing harm. What do you think the voices really were? The voices were of his inner self. Write a brief biography of Gutenberg using information from books and the internet. You will get this information from Google and just write a small paragraph containing 5 to 6 sentences. That's it. Now second one is Count the Day Lost. Again another inspiring poem. If you sit down at set of sun and count the acts that you have done, and counting find one self-denying deed, one word that eased the heart of him who heard, one glance most kind that fell into sunshine where it went, then you may count that day well spent. But if through all the long day you have cheered no heart by yea or nay, if through it all you have nothing done that you can trace, that brought the sunshine to one face, no act most small that helped some soul and nothing cost, then count that day as worse than lost. And it's a beautiful poem written by George Eliot. Answer these questions. What is this poem about? Answer in one sentence. The poem is about the importance of spending each day fruitfully by doing something good to others. When can we consider a day well spent? We can consider a day well spent if we have done at least one good deed. The good deed can be a consoling word which relieved the heart of the person who listened to it, or a kind glance which made the other person happy. What does easing the heart mean? Easing the heart means relieving an aching heart. When can we consider a day worse than lost? A day is worse than lost when it is spent without cheering any heart or without helping anybody. Write a paraphrase of this poem in 500 words. This, children, you don't have to write. Who was George Eliot? Do some research and see if you can discover something interesting about George Eliot. So children, you can write 2 to 3 sentences on George Eliot from Google. You will get this information. So homework for today's session is write John Gutenberg and the Voices exercise in textbook. Exercise 1, write in textbook, and exercise 2, question number 1, 2, 3 and 4 in notebook. Only the exercises you have to do, okay? Write count that day lost, exercise 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6 in notebook. Thank you. May God bless you and do complete your work. Take care.